Hey, people, how we doing? I'm Scott. That's Day. That's Ryan. And this is Tales from the Film Set, where as actors, we talk about what's going on in the world of movies, cartoons, TV shows, and pop culture from the perspective of people that have been in both front end and the back end of the camera.
Some of us naked.
Yeah, well, that we don't talk about what I had back then.
Neither me.
Yeah,
That's all I've got at the moment. All right.
Listen, that scene that I did on the Deuce, it aired the day after I got married. My in-laws were very proud of it. I'm very uncomfortable with the fact that, the sound designer for other shows saw me when I was standing in later. It's like, I watched that episode. I can't look at you the same way after this. And I am really glad in this case they let me wear underwear for that scene, because the original plan is they weren't going to do that. The Deuce, season 1, episode 5. I'm that guy. We'll leave that as is, look it up yourself. But I have decided to swear off such scenes. I have decided to take the route of Neil McDonough, as an acting career. Anyway, enough about me. Gentlemen, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Ryan?
Pretty decent. Had an eventful weekend. Celebrated a birthday at that new supercharged go-kart thing in Jersey, which
nice.
I have to say is a little bit of a lie. They did state that this was supposed to be the biggest or the longest indoor go-kart track in America. Technically, it's 2 tracks.
Right.
It's not one. And it's separated. So, I mean, depending on where you're standing, you're pretty much just going to get, like, the bulk of one track while you're viewing it. The other one's, like, all the way in, like, to the back of the building. Like, you're not going to see anything that goes on there.
But they're distinctly separated then.
Yeah. So, I mean, a little bit of a lie, but then again, it's Jersey, so you got to go with it.
Exactly. That's the one like Central Jersey, like Edison or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Day, you've been there, right?
Yeah. The player saying he's referring to is me.
Yes. Unfortunately, Davion's birthday happened after last week's episode, so we weren't able to say anything. But yes, happy belated birthday, Davion.
Happy birthday to you. It's a few days old now.
And I don't look any older.
Yes.
Nah.
Dude, you look really good for 14.
Yes. And your family was very kind, and
yes.
I mean, surprisingly, they were able to suffer with a white boy like me, so that's always considerate.
To be honest with you, they loved you.
Aw.
Well, what's not to love?
Oh, ooh. It's a little ego on that one too. I dig it. So
I think your cousin Gwen might have been a little sweet on me, but that's another thing.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna have
she loves him like a teddy bear.
All right, we're gonna have a conversation about that one at some point.
You know what? Let's
Ryan and Gwen.
No.
Yeah. No. Let's not give the man a headache now.
All right. Anyway, yes, we got basically some stuff we're going to be talking about here. We're going to be talking about what's going on with Jonathan Majors, more specifically to how this is going to affect Marvel Phase 5, because when your baddie is set up from movie 1, and whether he did it or whether he didn't, that is a nightmare of a situation for Disney to basically have to even confront that, their PR department, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be talking
about all the other issues Disney has had lately.
Oh, yeah. But we'll get into that in its own due course. Ryan, basically, you did see Dungeons and Dragons, so we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons and a spoiler-free review of the film. So I'm going to play a clip from that real quick. So,
Let the blood rain from the sky!
The greatest Dungeons and Dragons movie of all time.
No. No.
Sorry, I had to play it. Anyway, yeah, that was the one. That was the jump. Listen, there's no way that this movie. You're going to go into it and everything like that, but there's no way possible that movie could have overacting better than Jeremy Irons in that other one.
I mean, surprisingly, everything was very smooth to it. So yes, I did get to. Hold on, first. All right.
No.
Because I feel like I have to be in the mood in order to talk about this. So that means I have to go ahead and get into my role-playing character here. 'Twas an adventure like any other, and yet it wasn't. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves is, I can honestly say, the right kind of fantasy movie that we could get for this brand. It was very fun. Probably more fun than I would have expected, especially coming from the characters being what they were, because they definitely felt like characters that were going to get like their story fleshed out. Like, have you guys actually played any kind of role playing, like Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh yeah,
anything from online or on the boards or
I
anything like
fail
that?
epically at every saving throw I have.
Okay,
Even the ones that basically I just need, one. If I, as long as I don't roll a 26, I will be fine. What do you think I roll every time?
I never played Dungeons and Dragons.
never.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, Shadowrun, all the rest of those. Oh yeah.
Okay, so then I can honestly say, wait, magic. No, thankfully, no. For as much as they may have had in the movie that would have garnered some geeky reactions from those maybe like Scott that are a little bit more adjusted to Dungeons and Dragons lore, um, it was surprisingly like easy to understand. It didn't get very heavy. They definitely set up the lore and the land and everything. And uh, outside of that, it was a standard like adventure story, but it was done in like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing where there were multiple locations that you had to go to. There was a lot of good. I don't want to say there was too much exposition because there certainly has to be enough narration for people to understand what exactly is going on. So you have to have the story told in the way, like if you had a dungeon master walking you through everything as if you were reading it. By that, they actually stay true to that, and I don't think it's a movie that you could really get lost into, even if you've never followed Dungeons and Dragons. So, I mean, we've obviously had a lot of fantasy in the last few years, whether it was references being made in Stranger Things to Critical Role becoming more prominent in the zeitgeist of pop culture, as well as Legend of Vox Machina going ahead being adapted for 2 seasons so far on Amazon. And then you have Mazes and Monsters. Really? You're bringing up freaking Tom Hanks in this? Come on.
There's nothing better than the D&D from the 90s. Jeremy Irons for every Oscar ever.
No, those movies back when they were really saying that everything was satanic.
Oh God!
He played snails.
No. This is obvious. I would actually say this is probably more family friendly in a lot of cases. There's definitely a good amount of fighting and violence, but nothing grotesque. The special effects, as far as the magic and monsters are concerned, blends in really well, especially when it concerns how Sophia Lillis' character changes because she's a druid. So I mean, she has like the morphing abilities of like turning into different animals, and it looks very seamless. Beware the sacrilege, dude. Kyle, all right. Did you want in on this episode too? It's like I'm getting the feeling.
Yeah, let him do what he wants. He wants to pop in and pop in. So.
But yeah, I would say as far as just an overall fun ride, whereas John Wick was definitely like a fun thrill ride for like grown-ups, I'm sure. You could say that this was the fun thrill ride that the family can go to. You can definitely take little kids to it. There's maybe a couple of scary scenes, but outside of that, it's a good narrative. It's easy to understand. There's a lot of good humor in it. The only thing I would say is there's maybe too much humor where you could have cut down like maybe 15, 20 minutes and maybe a little streamlined a little, but then
there seems to be a recurring problem with Hollywood now. You notice that?
Right, but I also thought about it, and after a little while, it's like, you know what? How many times have you played like a Dungeons and Dragons game, and it definitely goes on longer just because of how the people interact with the story?
There's a difference between playing a game like that and watching a 2-hour movie.
Right.
Because in this case, you're watching the movie, but you're experiencing the actual story itself.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's part of the thing. It's like you really had to use this. You had to think of it in like a campaign mode almost, where it's like every main character had their story arc and had something that they wanted to say and tell. Whereas there was maybe only one character I could say that was hastened or doesn't like stay the whole movie, and they might as well have just been like an NPC because they were OP as fuck. Like, you don't even know, my God. So it's one of those things where it's like it all makes sense.
Hmm.
And I think there's very little that people could complain about, except maybe for the fact that if you're one of those critics that goes ahead and sees all these sorcery and sword movies,
Hmm.
it may seem a little atypical. Although I will
More
say
of a
there is
snobbish
definitely
eye, you're
enough
saying.
surprises in the movie that it will definitely make you think it's going one direction, but then it goes in a different,
Hmm.
which I think is smart because, again, you don't know, like if you're playing the game, you don't know where the story's going to go and you don't know how the villains are going to act or whether or not something's going to work out unless you roll the die or you wait for them to tell you. So it's nice to see that it's not as predictable as some people may think it is.
Right.
Hmm.
Now, I will leave it open to you since this is non-spoiler. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
All
Yeah,
right.
you want to roll first?
Yeah. So, what's your opinion about comparing to this and the '90s version?
You mean the 2000 version that we just saw, which was
Was it? It's not considered
It,
90s.
it was actually 2000.
Oh, okay. 2000 version.
yeah.
What is your views between that and this one? Do you think this one holds a better standard than the original, the one in 2000?
Gee, let me think. Do I want to go with the one that's got Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith,
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant was exceptional in this. Or do I want the one with Marlon Wayans?
Well, I mean, you got Blue Lip Guy there too.
Yeah.
Can't forget Blue Lip Guy.
Who's
Oh
blue?
yeah, no, who was that? Arnold Vosloo from the Mummy movies?
No, it's not Arnold Vosloo, but he was the main baddie in Highlander 4 also, where he played Jacob Cal, but I can't remember the actor's name.
See, don't make me sing a song.
We're going with the new movie. All right, this one doesn't exist.
But it set up a sequel. It set up a sequel, dude.
Is it going?
That's the thing. Lots of fantasy movies set up sequels. I dare say even this one possibly sets up a sequel, but like all good campaigns, it does have a nice surrounded. Get that man off the screen. Like, I'm not bothering with this movie. Look, the hat alone. Like, it's like they tried to make him an elf, but they didn't have the money left in the budget for the ears. Come on now. Looking like bootleg Yoda. No, get that off the screen.
There, how's that better?
That's better.
All right, cool.
It's kind of cute.
Jeez. This is why I brought this out, because I knew you were going to be playing with me.
You're gonna stab
My
that through the screen to try and hit me.
Yeah, watch me try to do it through my screen, and I break my computer.
Oh, I love it. I mean, here's the thing. It was obviously, this is a different era than the one that came out 20 some years ago, because back then there wasn't really geek chic yet. There was geek culture. It was starting to grow a little bit. I mean, but the only thing we really had comic book wise, if you want to call it that, is we had X-Men hadn't even come out yet, or Spider-Man. Is we had the animated series like X-Men, we had Batman, we had like some of the Marvel stuff like Fantastic Four. We had a couple of things that were like sprinkled in there, but it wasn't like hardcore geek culture yet. So that one failed epically because it's like really the game where you roll a saving throw, where people didn't really get it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this point in 2023, there's so much more geek culture because the geeks have inherited the earth. Vin Diesel is apparently huge into Dungeons and Dragons. He loves the thing, hardcore. I think Alice Cooper too. So it's a lot more commonplace now than it used to be.
Right, but the funny thing is, as far as movies are concerned, this kind of stuff, unless it has like J.R.R. Tolkien behind it, it doesn't necessarily survive well in the theaters. You look at examples of like, Stardust, Aragon, the Warcraft movie, even going back to something with Vin Diesel, The Last Witch Hunter. Things of the sorcery and sword genre have been relatively hit or miss. But I would say if you were going to go with this property now, this would be the time to do it. Only because on television, you've been able to garner and see what works and what doesn't, whether it's between the Game of Thrones franchise or Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, or the Wheel of Time. There's been a lot of successful versions that have been done long scale that you almost wonder, can something be done in like a shorter format or in like a 2-hour campaign sort of thing? And like a game would be. And this shows that it can be done as long as you keep things centered on the main story. You can go off and like explain stuff about other people throughout, but stick it to the main story. Don't distract yourself.
Exactly.
You know, and when you go ahead.
No, that's all.
With, like I said, something like this, though, I think it's also you've got a better cast, I think, in this one than you had in the last one, because Tessa Thompson, Chris Pine are obviously, you know, marketable commodities. The last one you had Thora Birch, and people were like, "Oh yeah, that was the girl from American Beauty, not the Rose girl, but the friend, Kevin Spacey's daughter."
Yeah,
that was like her only credit. With obviously this one, you have Chris Pine from obviously Star Trek and from Wonder Woman and everything else he's done. Tessa Thompson, obviously everything she's done with the MCU.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who am I thinking of in the new one?
Michelle Rodriguez.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad on that one.
I was about to say, it's like, I think Michelle Rodriguez could kick Tessa Thompson's butt, man.
Probably,
like,
yeah.
Come on,
my bad on this. But in this case here, you know, Michelle Rodriguez obviously, between Fast and the Furious and, you know, all the other stuff that she's done across the years, you know, there is a better marketability for this film than there was the last one.
Right.
You know,
and I agree with you, because look at the times we're in right now. We're in an era where nerds and geeks are dominant.
And you know what? Okay, like I've said this before, you know, I come from this era. You know, I come from this Dungeons and Dragons,
which they do make the nod to the television show in the movie,
which is nice.
So I mean, it's definitely a movie that's made by people that like they understand the property. It's not like a simple cash grab,
and that helps too, because in this case here, when they understand the actual source material and their target, you know. Now I haven't seen this movie; I haven't even seen the reviews of it. But the reason why John Wick worked so well is because it gave the fans exactly what they wanted. They knew what they were getting into. It is not something that's going to be Shakespeare. It's basically him killing the crap out of everybody, you know, with a storyline tied into it. It's like, okay, we have these stunt scenes. We want to do this, and we'll build a story underneath. It gave the fans exactly what they wanted. It wasn't anything where it's like, we're going to tell you what to think. We're going to tell you this. We're going to push this agenda down your throat. No, it was, this is what the fans want. And by God, this is what they're going to give it to them.
It was an action film. It was
exactly.
Which, by the way, John Wick Chapter 4 opened this weekend to $73.5 million.
Okay.
So,
which is pretty low,
not too shabby.
And I'm really proud of the director and Keanu Reeves.
Chad, whatever his name is.
Chad, I know it's Chad, but
yeah, he's a Chad.
And they are saying John Wick 5 back on the table after box office blow up.
Well, I don't know. They also said that they're pretty much done with the storyline for now. I can understand that. I mean, they've had 4 movies in the course of 8 years.
Right. So I think what's going to happen if they do a John Wick 5, it will have to be either a spin-off, which is what they're about to do, which is
they already have the ballerina one,
ballerina, but it's really going to be connected to 3 and 4.
It has to. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to, but my guess initially was they were going to start spinning on Halle Berry's character from 3, but now you got Donnie Yen as a possibility as well.
Yo, Donnie Yen was the man.
Donnie Yen playing blind martial artist. He did this in Rogue One.
Yeah, but this one was way better.
Okay, gentlemen. Back to the sword and sorcery stuff.
I'm sorry.
Well, they use swords in John Wick.
Yeah.
Do they look like this?
Yes.
Lies.
Oh, lies, I tell you.
I'm sorry, but we love Dungeons and Dragons. I got to check it out, you know, because
you definitely should. As far as the casting, like you said, Chris Pine, this is definitely his franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could definitely see a second movie with him and his character. I don't know about necessarily the same group, but certainly for him, I would want to see more for him. Simply because he carried this as far as like narration is concerned, as far as dialogue is concerned. And that's the one other thing about the dialogue. Like, the dialogue, it didn't try to like be like old-timey English sort of stuff. It's not like they were trying to be in the moment, but they also weren't trying to be like too modern either. It's like they basically did feel like characters that were developed by people playing the game. You know, in character, in rhythm, in voice. You know, everyone sounded like they should be naturally. And I really enjoyed that because then it felt more immersive that way.
It didn't distract.
Yes, it didn't distract at all. If anything, and considering we're talking about ultimately these characters are thieves. You know, that's their main bread and butter in the movie: burglary, scamming, charm, but you know, sweet talkery. You know, it's all up there for these people. Obviously, you've got Chris Pine playing a bard. You've got a barbarian, warrior, Maureen Michelle Rodriguez. Justice Smith is a sorcerer slash petty thief. And then you have Sophia Lillis, who I said, like I told you, was the wild shape, as they call it. And then you have people like Hugh Grant, also a thief. You've got some red witches in there. You've got some, I guess, paladins. It's I really can't express if there's anything that could possibly be missing from this. It's for this kind of genre. It's perfectly made.
Again, you go into it knowing what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah. And you still get surprised regardless. Even if you think it's going to be predictable, which for some things it is because it is a standard, you know, adventures type story, you still get surprised. I would say out of all the characters, though, I like Justice Smith the most.
Okay. Oh, wow. That is going deep on this.
What?
I mean, you've got Sophia Lillis' character as a tiefling. So you got that. Which, I was surprised I knew what a tiefling was. So yay. But yeah, Justice Smith's half-elf Simon. I loved him the best. Like, he had the best lines. I don't know. And it's funny because you look at Justice Smith and you think, okay, the kid from Detective Pikachu. But he really gets into this character of Simon, you know, all the eccentricities, all the faults, you know. He's probably like the most relatable out of everybody here. So I would love to see more just from him. But yeah, that's the thing. Any one of these characters you could easily spin off into their own movie and their own adventure.
Okay.
Fear not, ranger, barbarian, magician, thief, cavalier.
Now, what would you consider all three of us in Dungeons and Dragons? Like me, Scott.
What if I had to categorize you guys as like job classes or as races?
Job classes and races.
Okay, because I don't know races like that. But
okay. But just go job classes.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Scott. I could see Scott as. Does merchant count?
Oh, really? Merchant?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
but
I was thinking
you just have like
I don't want to be.
You have the intelligence, you have the charisma, but I can't really see you with the fighting skills.
Oh, I was about to say a dwarf with a hammer.
I was gonna expect you to probably go like more dwarf, you know, with an axe or something like, you know.
You're too tall for a dwarf.
Well, believe me,
skullduggery. Yes, they even use the word skullduggery. Yes, I like that.
Wow. He's like, wow. You're good with money, you know. You can't fight, you know. You sell shit.
Okay, fine. I'll do Day next.
Oh Lord.
Having seen Day punch this weekend.
Oh Lord.
I would say that he's probably more the paladin type.
Paladin?
Yeah, I could definitely see you more as a paladin because you'll fight But you'll fight for honor and glory and stuff like that. You don't really have like the greedy bone in your body.
Apparently, I do though. Apparently, I do because basically he's like, Davion, you noble paladin, you God, you schmucky salesperson.
Oh, come on. He's the one that wants to be like, Red Hood and everything. So he's already there with the armor. Obviously he's got good close combat skills.
I can't believe I have to do this. I'm actually, like I said, I'm actually bothered by this a little bit. Do you know what the 7 virtues of Bushido are?
Oh, God.
Girei Meio Jin Makoto Chu. Dirty courage, benevolence, loyalty, honesty, honor, morality. So that's the one you decided was a merchant.
You can have a dagger. I'm not saying you can't be armed.
I'll give you a little knife you can stab somebody with it.
Or you can throw it.
Plus 1 damage.
You can throw it and be like a
Yeah,
shuriken.
at least I said I see you as a dwarf with a hammer. A really huge hammer, like a mallet. Walking around like, yeah.
Dude.
Would you rather take that, Scott?
I'd rather take a dwarf with a hammer or something.
Whole dagger. Yes, yeah. Look, you can have mine. Here. There you go.
I'll tell you where to stick it. I'll tell you where to stick that, sir.
So, Scott, who would you think, right, would be?
Honestly, he does look like the dwarf type with the,
I would say sorcerer.
See, I don't know about sorcerer because I don't know if I can necessarily keep all like the spells in mind. Like you really have to be like very intelligent for a sorcerer, and I'm like only pretty good. Now the thing is, since I have actually done D&D recently, thanks to my friend Nick Knox, who runs a Discord channel and YouTube channel, on TikTok and everything. Go ahead, check her out if you want. NYXKNOX.
Yes, please.
He just started doing Dungeon Master roles, and I made up a character that was a half-elf bard.
Okay.
Who has weapons and some magical objects, but he's always drunk. And his name is Guinness Smittix.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those name generators you find on Google. It's like, what is
Oh, no, I made that up myself.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Guinness was spelled Gynis.
Okay.
And then Smittix is the beer, Smithwick's, but you say it as Smittix.
Very clever that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also good use of the letter Y. Y is a very Dungeons and Dragons letter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what I'm doing.
Now,
our first campaign, I was like in sorrow over someone's death, and I was drunk the whole time. So it's like I kept messing up on my rolls because I had, issues with that.
The greatest.
I don't think my crew was too happy until I actually started using like fireballs and and because I was a bard, I had to be like fireball, and then after I threw one like dun 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 dun. Had to
fireball at the end.
Now we're gonna ask Scott the same question. Who would you?
No, like I said, I see him as being the bard, I don't know, like I said, the dwarf with a hammer type. I think I could possibly see even like an elf in there too. Like Black Legolas. Legolas.
Wow.
So
I don't know. Pointy ears on that like perfectly symmetrical head. It's like it would just stand out way too much.
I don't know. I think I can see a little elf in that kid. Okay.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. If he's an elf, do you keep him bald, or do you give him hair so this way he can hide the ears?
Well, listen. Are you out about being an elf?
I don't look. I'm not really a person that I wouldn't mind playing Dungeons and Dragons, but.
By the way, Kyle, is that Dwarven Fighter for Day or for Ryan or for me or for yourself even? So, two-handed Warhammer, that'd be cool.
But
I mean, in this case, I would be okay with him being.
Yeah, but I'd be so slow. That's the problem.
What?
A dwarven fighter, all short and stocky, with a two-handed warhammer. Dude, I would not be. You'd have to like put me on a cart. I couldn't even ride a horse. I'd be so heavy. I'd be so like lower center of gravity. You can't do that. In fact, I don't even know how Gimli gets thrown around like the way he does. He should be a lot heavier than that.
I don't know what his weight is. I think they established it in the books, though.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway,
okay.
any other questions on the movie before we get into anything else?
So,
Or do you guys think you'll see it this weekend?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try.
no, I won't be. I have to cover a boxing event and also soccer.
Oh,
So,
I'll definitely see if I could try to see it this weekend.
barbarian, magician, thief, cavalier, and acrobat.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say Michelle Rodriguez was the barbarian in the movie, but the thing is, like, even though she's like a shorter person than what she looks like on film, which, by the way, apparently her character has like a thing for shorter guys, like almost like dwarven hobbit sort of like characters. Oh my god, the special guest appearance of who plays her ex in the movie. Biggest laugh of the whole damn thing.
All right.
That's all I'm going to tell you, because you got to see who it is.
Okay. I'm sold.
Uh,
Is it, can I take a guess?
Okay, take a guess.
Channing Tatum?
No.
Oh, wow. Because that's what they probably go to.
If I had to guess, I mean, without looking this up, I don't actually know. I mean, I would say it would probably be something that would catch people. I mean, I would almost say Vin Diesel on different fronts here.
No?
Without actually looking it up, I mean, it would make some sense in certain cases. But
I can see what you're saying there if you have like a really small Vin Diesel and a really big Michelle Rodriguez. But nope, it's not Vin either.
All right.
That's why it's like, when you see it, you won't believe it.
The last person I could say is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
No. Think people that are probably scrawny to begin with.
So like Steve Buscemi or something.
Kevin Hart.
No.
God. Jack Black, maybe.
No. We gotta save him for Mario, which comes out in
like a few weeks, right? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. I think this movie. I think that movie's gonna bomb. I really do.
That's the thing. It's like we got a lot of bangers coming out week after week.
Yeah,
there's really going to be a lack of dull moments.
We got Fast X coming out too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The gnome wizard dating the half orc barbarian.
Gnome wizard.
Jesus.
So
Kyle's got some fan fiction written. I don't know, man. It's like
he's got possibly some Rule 34 going on too.
Yeah, really. He's got a DeviantArt account that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Possible Rule 34 here.
Get that man off this screen.
And I met him in person.
Did you really?
Yeah.
All right, let me put this away.
Before you cut yourself.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to cut myself, please.
Okay.
Medic. Out of mana. Need a res.
Which, by the way, just one last note before we get into our next topic, which kind of segues into it. So obviously I was able to see this advanced screening due to AMC Theaters. They the ones that posted for the screening on Sunday. And because I'm an A-list member, I was able to just go right in.
Oh. And I'm a stockholder for AMC. Yeah.
Yes, my dad works for Nintendo.
Okay, Aaron. But funny enough, when they were playing like the commercials and everything prior to the movie, like even prior to the trailers, guess what commercial came up Sunday afternoon watching that movie?
Eminem?
No.
There was an Amazon commercial that supposedly ran too.
No.
You know, the one with the girl that dressed up like Freddie Mercury?
No, probably more Jonathan Majors doing his best to sell the U.S. Army.
Oh, the video the ad that's been pulled.
Yeah, no, it played right before the movie and the trailers.
Oh,
Sunday.
that did not age well. Yeah,
and I saw that. And I'm like, Oh, the timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bad time now. We're not going to probably go too much into what's going on with the legal aspect of all that stuff,
Right.
but we're going to be focusing a little more attention on what this is going to do for, forget Creed, but really specifically Marvel Phase 5, because they set him up to be they set him up to be the Thanos from movie 1 in the series. And there's some pretty heavy charges that may or may not be true, but either way, it is a PR headache and nightmare for Marvel right now.
Some would even say DC-esque.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
But do you think I would say like
Wait, hold on.
okay.
Jonathan in major trouble. Really, Scott?
all right, fine. You want me to come up with something better on that?
Like, of the lowest hanging of fruit, you just grab those kiwis, man.
Just, you know what?
I'm getting over COVID right now. Cut me some slack here. No joke. My body temperature last week legitimately was 94.4.
Oh wow.
I tested it twice, 2 times. So my body temperature switched 6 degrees in a 24-hour period. I'm not on A game right now. So you know what? I'm doing a pretty damn good job despite everything.
No, he is. He is
Yes,
constant and major trouble. Yeah. But I will say this. We gotta know, audience, do not make judgment.
There.
Know
Is
the
that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Jonathan in major trouble
or
major issues. But all jokes aside, before we say what we have to say to the audience, keep an open mind. The guy is innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just our opinions. Take it with a grain of salt because we don't know the full story of what actually happened.
Correct. We're not following the likes and the retweets on this.
Nope, just the news reports.
Exactly.
So, but in this case, like I said, we're focusing a little bit less on, you can look that up easily enough. But as far as Marvel Phase 5, which has already gotten off to a pretty sluggish start, and a lot of concerns already exist in that arena, heavy rumors of massive reshoots going on, and then to suddenly have your main baddie set up from the beginning to have legal issues like this, it creates a WB level issue, for their flagship franchise, essentially, for Disney.
I mean, one can only imagine that, since you brought up Warner Brothers, since we've seen everything that's gone on in regards to Warner Brothers, DC, and Ezra Miller, I would imagine Disney has a way of circumventing all the pitfalls that came from having to deal with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing with Disney right now is they have a slew of things that have been going on as far as their media and movie section is concerned, because there's been all the people departing from Star Wars. There's Victoria Alonso, who got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, she got fired for nothing that she actually involved Marvel. She got fired for something completely separate, a breach of contract. That has nothing to do with anything with the VX effects and, the crunch time. That's obviously been bad press in itself. And this is really like the first time they've had to deal with an actor issue, I would say.
Yeah, all things considered, every single person they've had has been pretty much a clean run.
Right. The only issues they've ever had really with actors is probably when it came to like the recasting, like when you had to recast for Rhodey, or you had to recast for Bruce Banner.
Yeah, but that was peanuts compared to
that was early stages. That was like when there wasn't even an MCU yet. So far, everything's pretty much fallen into place as far as that is. So the fact that this is like the first real actor hiccup. I am confident that Disney's going to be able to handle that, because here's the thing. We are probably not going to see Jonathan Majors in the MCU again until Loki. Which means, as far as Guardians 3 is concerned, he's not going to be involved in that. as far as the Marvels is concerned,
Mhm.
that comes out later this year, he's not going to be involved in that, I don't believe.
Right.
And outside of Loki, if they do anything television-wise, which, what did they say? The only other show that was going to be coming out this year, possibly outside of Loki, was what?
They're doing What If season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I don't really see it being too much of an issue right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this had happened a month before Quantumania came out, then oh goodness, yes, it'd be a problem. But I think they can definitely navigate the waters of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too worried in that sense.
Oh yeah,
My concern is going
Echo
to
they
be,
push back, I think.
yeah, my concern is going to be, do they do anything about this, or do they let him go scot-free?
Depending on the situation, like I said, we don't know the severity of the situation.
Mhm.
Right.
So we
Well-
can't make judgment on what the situation is because right now it's under wraps.
Mhm. And it might stay that way forever too.
Right. So there's a possibility they may not
Mhm.
and just dust it under the rug.
I mean, I hope that's not necessarily the case, because I think regardless of how things go legally and regardless of how things go on Disney's end, the court of public opinion now,
Mhm.
more so this year so far, has really been of that mindset of like, well, ever since the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp fiasco, who do you really trust? Who do you really believe? And
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, I think is old news at this point and forgotten about in a lot of ways. It was
but
big in the moment.
because
But I
of
think
that case, you've really had a lot that's played into other cases that have gone on now. Say Dana White on video
Mhm.
physically abusing his or slapping his wife. You've got this, which apparently the issue was with his supposed girlfriend at the time, or whatever woman he was with at the time, which apparently they say they have video evidence that would exonerate him from any charges. Even outside of this, on a smaller scale, there's the actor Mark Harley. I think, what was it?
Yeah.
He's been talked about a lot. Mark Harley. He's a little B-rate actor. He worked with Brendan Schaub as far as stand-ups are concerned. He's not exactly the most liked stand-up, and this guy was like his assistant. But he's done he's acting, he's podcast, he works out in California, and there has been a blow-up online regarding his wife, Luana, and the videos that are out there now showing him like attacking her car and lifting it up and down so she won't get away. And then there's videos of her being arrested because apparently she was having an emotional breakdown and attacked him. It's like, there's so much he said, she said nowadays than ever before, and especially in the acting world. It's like, this does not bode well, especially when you're in an industry where your image and whether or not people can trust you is paramount.
Yes.
That's why.
And Disney having a very kid-friendly image, even more so than say DC.
Right. Even if Jonathan is completely cleared of everything, the name has already gotten tarnished.
Yep.
That's why it's better to be single and not have drama.
Their drama can always find. Listen, here's the problem: the bigger you get, the easier it is for basically drama to find you.
Facts.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I've noticed of late is, like I said, especially I was watching something, I forget what it was, but it was talking about athletes from the 80s and the 90s. You didn't know much about their personal lives because nothing was ever seen. Nowadays, you see everything. What they're wearing, what they're doing, where they're eating, what they're eating, what their kids are dressing as. You see so much more about people now than you ever did. So everybody's under a bigger microscope than they ever were. And the bigger you are, the bigger that microscope becomes because there's more microscopes on you. So everything is freaking watched. You know,
Yeah, and
because
it's
there's
hard
always
for
somebody.
someone of his caliber because not only do you have a movie like Quantumania, which is
Mhm,
the Disney scope, you also had Creed 3, which
mhm.
you
Which
know,
was yeah.
as good of a movie as that was, it definitely showed that someone of Jonathan Majors' size and physique could be dangerous if they were to hit somebody,
Dude,
if
that
they were
dude
to
is
attack somebody.
Jonathan Majors is freaking jacked.
Yeah, this isn't Ezra Miller choking out some woman in a foreign country where it's like, okay, his little like weenie arms are going after the lady. No, this is a jacked up dude. This is a Marvel character. There are no skinny Marvel characters. Even Scott Lang is jacked. Like,
Yeah, they'll find a way to make Blob jacked when he comes out next man.
dude, Blob gonna come out with like a 20-pack. All right,
Dude,
everything's gonna be ribbed.
but I mean, you look at something like, I mean, listen, I will say this from, receiving and personal experience, size does not matter in DV
Mm-hmm.
because, anybody can pick up anything and hit you with it. Trust me. First wife picked up things and hit me with it. She was 5'4", I'm 5'11", didn't freaking matter. So in this case here, you're looking at something where anything, like I said, we don't have the information there. However, when you have that kind of physique, it goes against you very quickly. So,
Right.
But see, on the other hand, the ironic thing is I almost wonder, as I'm looking at this, I almost wonder if that physique can help a little bit, because the more attractive you are, sometimes the easier it is to get away with things. It's a statistical fact in court that better looking people get away with crimes more than basically random uggos like myself. Additionally, also, actually, believe it or not, in court, people that wear glasses are more likely to be found innocent than people that don't. So there's little things like that, because in this case, it makes you look more intelligent. So there are certain things
Boy, are they
that,
wrong.
the court part or even the court of public opinion can be influenced by the actual superficial aspect of it. And I almost wonder in this case, if his physique is going to help him in this case.
Thank God for
Just a theory.
2020.
Yeah, no. 2200. That's my
That's
numbers,
just
man.
a theory. A body theory.
Ha
Keep looking sharp. So
Oh
anyway.
God, yeah, no, he's got the 4th channel now. All right,
I know. Style theory. We watched that one. So.
But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the allegation, not to get too deep into it, was that he was strangling the girl.
Mhm.
Look at the dude.
Yeah.
Like this is not like some like skinny Snoop Dogg sorted person giving like a a pimp slap to somebody.
Right.
No, this is big old like Jonathan Majors taking both hands and
Mhm.
it hurts
I'm pretty
me
sure
just
you
to
can.
think
I'm
about it.
pretty sure that with those arms, you could probably decapitate a person with them just by
Yes,
squeezing.
and that's the thing. It's like,
yeah.
Did you ever see like the movie Story of Ricky, the Chinese martial arts movie?
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
Heard of
By the
it.
way, Ryan, check that out. It's a hilariously terrible Chinese martial arts film, but it's like one of the goriest ones ever. It's amazing. It's terrible and it's amazing. But yeah, there's a
this
guy
wasn't
in there who can literally just crush a person with his hands and does so. But I could almost see Jonathan Majors being able to physically do that.
yeah, and I know you shouldn't judge somebody based upon physical appearance. I mean, but the thing is, for as much as you shouldn't judge somebody based upon the defaults of their bodies,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard not to judge a person based upon the extreme benefits of their
Mm-hmm.
bodies either. You know,
Let me ask you something. I'm just throwing this out there. How do you feel about using the YouTube channel as a social experiment in this way? By putting a poll up there and putting pictures like that one and say, do you think he did it?
Ooh.
No wrong answer. I just thought about it right now. If you don't like the idea, please say so.
I mean, I see where you're going with that, and it's definitely intriguing. Although
But
I
I
don't
don't
know
think you
if we
want
would
it.
go
I got
with
in the
this
sense you don't.
picture.
So listen, that's okay. So I'm just getting a feel. So
Yeah,
No, it is a good idea, but then again, it's like, do you want to do that right now? Or
no, I was just thinking out loud. like I said, I mean, I do this a lot.
I
Where
mean,
just kinda
that's almost like, asking if OJ did it, but you're using like one of the pictures from one of his trading cards.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to say Nordberg from Naked Gun.
No, get him in his prime. Don't
Yeah.
get him when he was Norberg.
Well, but people loved him as Nordberg. God, he was awesome. He was awesome in the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, because he was an idiot.
It was, it's funny because the original one was some white dude, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
But no, he was just in all three of those movies. He was just a delight. And then, like right after, I think right after the third movie came out was when the Ford Bronco thing happened. It's like, well, that killed that movie.
Right, but that's the thing. His character was very unassuming.
Mhm.
It was easy to like be surprised by something like that, or to take someone like O.J. Simpson only at face value and not to worry about him because he played the fool.
Right.
Jonathan Majors don't play the fool.
Oh,
He plays the guy that smacks around the fool.
Mhm.
and very intelligent with it. So he may get sex appeal and intelligency. So it's like, I don't know, Scott. We're looking at possibility. I'm not guilty.
I don't know. I legit don't know in this case. It's hard to really say.
Well, he's saying that the lawyer's saying that they have enough, and they have like the lady reported of her recanting her
I heard that too,
allegation
yeah.
and everything, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but New York still has to do the investigation. They still went ahead and put charges on him today.
Mhm.
So if that stuff is really just like the smoking gun, we'll see it, show it, fine. Don't lead us down astray. It's like saying, "Oh, we have it. We're ready. We're ready. You'll see it in due time."
Mhm.
Like, no, let's just get this over and done with. Don't drag this out, because the more you drag it out, the more people's ideas are going to just wrap
Oh
around
boy.
things that aren't real.
Everybody loves to form. Here's the thing I'm noticing more and more about humanity. They form opinions quickly and change them more slowly than ever.
Right.
Where it should in theory be the other way, where you form an opinion slowly, but you're changing it as you hear it. Now it's all about the instant like, reaction, and retweet, and then you hold on to that opinion like basically your life depends on it, and then you don't change it. That's the world we live in now, such as it is.
Sadly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we can't keep this depressing. So
Yeah.
What did I say?
Hey, that's for calling me a merchant, okay?
Wow. Eddie. Pet.
Excuse me. But yeah, as far as this goes, who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah.
Billy Garen.
Who's to say that Disney ain't just going to have them like, hey, all you have to do is say this was all a misunderstanding and we get this amount of money.
We apologize for any inconvenience.
Oh, worst thing they'll do, they'll fire him and put him and ask someone else.
They could do that.
They could do it.
They could do that.
They'd do that, but I don't think they're going to do that.
No, but I mean, listen. The good news for Disney, at least, is that if he is guilty of all this stuff, and it's worse than you think, and all this kind of stuff, it is still early enough in Phase 5 that you can swap him out and not make it look like you did with the Harry Potter prequels, where you fired off Johnny Depp and you did all this kind of stuff, and and it looked just really, really bad.
All right.
I can't even remember what the name of the prequels are. Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts, yeah.
It was Colin Farrell originally, and then it turns out that was really Johnny Depp. Which okay.
Which is at the end of the first movie.
Yeah,
and then he has the whole second movie. But then by the time the third movie comes around, they don't use Depp and they use Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, because they fired off Johnny Depp because his finger got cut off by Amber Heard, and
Though to be honest, I would have preferred they stuck with Colin Farrell.
I agree with you on that.
He could have stayed the whole damn time.
Dude, I think it would have been really, really great. I mean, listen, not a problem with Johnny Depp or even Mads Mikkelsen. The issue is the fact that you have, in 3 movies, you have 3 different actors playing the same character.
Right.
Right. Which they've only ever done with Johnny Depp on that, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Mm-hmm.
The movie where Heath Ledger died.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so they couldn't, complete him. So they had his character transform into, 3 different people. One of them was Jude Law.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was, Johnny Depp.
That's interesting.
And actually, who was the third one?
Hmm.
Oh, part of me wants to say Colin Farrell because then that's just going to be really
that would be
weird.
hilarious.
It's all together.
It's kind of like basically you have like, well, never mind. I'm going spoiler on that. But that's, like I said, that's the same issue. But Disney in this case is early enough that they can swap out Jonathan Majors if they have to and still be able to salvage it. But it's still a PR headache that they have to deal with that I'm sure they don't want to.
Right. And it'll look tacky.
Oh yeah. You know, and Disney, like I said, it's almost movies run in series, you know. So for a while there, you know, obviously back in the day we had, you know, the sci-fi era or the, you know, and then of course we had the Western era, and now then eventually we had the zombie era. You know, everything has an era to it. Comic book era is coming to an end, you know, and you're seeing it at the box office where they keep
It was Colin Farrell.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Imaginarium Tony #3.
Sure. Interesting.
Wow.
But,
They're just running the same circuits, I guess.
yeah, well, you know what? They probably all know the same people. And it's like, all right.
Imagine if Heath Ledger was still alive. He probably would have ended up in Fantastic Beasts movie.
Actually, probably would have ended up in the MCU too.
Right.
He could have been the Hulk. You don't know?
No. You know who Heath Ledger would have been? Sentry.
You know what it is? I'm looking at stuff that, I mean, he died in what, 2008. I'm looking at stuff that, like, you know, in the last 15 years that's already come out.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm trying to think of basically who he could have played in like current stuff. You know, and the Hulk I think is possible. Hawkeye maybe.
A younger version of Hawkeye?
Well,
I don't
no.
know.
I mean, by the time they introduced Hawkeye and everything, he would have been of age.
Yeah. Maybe a little young, but you can work around it.
But probably I could see him as Bruce Banner, yeah.
If he bulked up, he could have been Thor. Then we would have never gotten Chris Hemsworth.
You know what's funny also about that? The fact that it basically came down to Chris Hemsworth and Liam Hemsworth. And
thank God we got Chris.
You know, it's just funny the fact that basically the two of them, the brothers, and well, there's a third.
Davion knows the issue with Liam Hemsworth.
Oh well, I was going to say there's Miley Cyrus in there. Is that what you're talking about?
No. Sorry, I'll let Day calm down a bit. It's like we have a whole clip about this, I think, on the channel in regards to him and Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, probably.
No, because yeah, there he goes. Yep, there it is. I'm saying the name. No, because you know how Henry Cavill left The Witcher?
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, and they got Liam Hemsworth to replace him.
Okay.
Liam Hemsworth at The Witcher. No.
Yeah, the first time we talked about this, Davion was just like this.
Okay, so we know what to do to basically get him going.
I'm sorry.
Imagine if we told him that Miley Cyrus's Flowers was about Liam.
Yeah, right.
I can't with you. No. Not Liam Hemsworth. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about, Day?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I heard is
No. I think if you look online, you can probably find pictures of Liam Hemsworth done up as The Witcher.
Oh God, is that him? No, that's
yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
Cavill.
it's okay.
Okay.
Which is actually another thing I just wanted to point out. This bodes very well for Henry Cavill's Warhammer project.
Yeah.
Because if Dungeons and Dragons does well, that means that other kinds of board game properties will probably go ahead and get picked up too.
Could be.
So I would love to see like Warhammer get that kind of treatment.
Oh my God.
Okay, you could have at least picked one where he had some facial hair. That looks like, you know, a Witcher prequel.
You know, it's not that easy to find one basically with Liam Hemsworth with facial hair.
But look at Davion, he's like trying to cover the screen.
Yeah. Is that better?
Okay.
Oh, no, that's still Cavill, isn't it?
Yeah, that's still Cavill.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
I think.
Oh no, wait, no.
Yeah, that's Cavill. That's
No,
Cavill.
that's Liam.
No, that's not.
No, that's Liam.
That is.
This is a German website. The
You
Levitscher
can tell more
Staffel
so with the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? It's German, but it still works anyway.
Okay,
The only thing is, obviously, that's Photoshop, so they obviously did things here and there to probably like make it blend more into Cavill's facial structure.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Basically a deep fake.
right. I was like, wait, that's not Liam Hemsworth. That's some other bulky, buffed up guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
Aren't they
that
all
just shows
nowadays?
that the appearance can be altered enough to fit the characterization. Whether or not Liam Hemsworth is actually going to do the grunts and mannerisms that Cavill brought to the character for the last few seasons is going to be a different story, because this isn't going to be like, hey, we're replacing him with a different actor, so we're going to go in a different direction. You've got enough background of work here that if you go ahead and replace the character now, they have to fit into the mold of the character that Cavill has given.
You're right, and I don't think
It's less about Liam's acting prowess and more about his copying prowess,
Yeah.
his imitation
And
prowess.
his look in this case and physique to a point and ability to do whatever stunts are involved as well.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
the
does
minute
he does have a solid resume of his own.
Yeah, but the minute he treads away and does his own thing with the character, the fans will notice.
The fans have already noticed, and they're not happy.
And that's why I'm laughing.
Well, see, that's part of it too. I
Well,
mean,
no, Davion's very happy about it, as we see.
Oh, Dave loves it.
I'm dying laughing because I already know where this could go, and that's why I'm laughing my butt to the bank at this moment. Oh god.
But see, that's what I'm saying. And in regards to the whole like Jonathan Majors thing, yes, we've gotten Jonathan Majors for like a television show and a movie where he's playing this particular character and variants of that character. However, it's easy enough to say that because all these other characters are variants, they're all going to act in different ways, much in the same way that King the Conqueror acted differently from He Who Remains. They have a similar look, but definitely different characteristics, different mannerisms, different appearances. So if you were to go ahead and get a different actor to replace him in the series as any of the variants or Kangs that could come along in the future, it would be a completely different character than what we have seen, which means that actor doesn't necessarily have to imitate anything that Jonathan Majors has done up to this point. They can still make something of their own. So it would be an easy fix. It's not like trying to go ahead and replace T'Challa after Chadwick Boseman died.
And by replace, you mean don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they could have replaced T'Challa with a different actor. They decided to go the other way because no one in their eyes could fit that mold, and they wanted to honor the actor, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are of the belief that, no actor is bigger than the character. The character is what matters. The days of the movie star being able to be like, just play themselves, and because they're there, that will draw in all the money. Those days are gone. The last real person that was able to do that was maybe Dwayne Johnson, and even he has faltered, as we saw in Black Adam.
Ryan Reynolds, I think, to a degree, if he does something dramatic, I think can do it.
Right.
Maybe, but as long as Deadpool still brings in money, he's going to go with that.
Him or me, like a Bradley Cooper, dramatic thing out of Philadelphia, that kind of thing. I meant Bradley Cooper, not Ryan Reynolds. But
right.
Yeah.
Oh no, Bradley Cooper is definitely he's less like a big name star to draw it in, but he plays his characters to a T. I mean, we're talking about the guy who does Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. Well, true.
So I mean, he's definitely the kind that immerses himself into the character. Which you'll be able to see once Guardians comes out, and thankfully that's going to be the next movie, because that's completely separate and away from all this other stuff.
Right.
Well, it's very odd in this case because it's a James Gunn movie, so it's a movie he made for his own enemy now.
Yeah, but it's the last one he made for his enemy.
That's true, but still weird anyway. Whatever money they make at
the box, he's burning a bridge. He's like taking the whole thing with him.
By the way, there was a short done by, since we mentioned Matt Pat, there was a short that was done by Matt Pat that confirmed their belief of who was going to, to die in the third movie based on how the logo was for the first two and what
Yeah, I
happened
saw
with it.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that too.
Very interesting.
But I think it also, like, you don't even need, like, the title screen for that. It's pretty much just from narrative experience based upon what we've seen in the last couple of movies and even in the Christmas holiday special that they had this past December on Disney Plus. Like, if there's anybody that's going to go, I think it's easy to place your bet. As a matter of fact, we should do something. I know we're running towards the end here, but I think the week that Guardians 3 comes out, I want us to place, like, a Deadpool, like, wagers.
Ooh.
Okay.
And whoever wins gets to have something done to the other two people.
Ooh.
Can I place my bet right now?
It's funny. On the sports side, we routinely run, bets. We got March Madness going on for right now, but we regularly do bets like this. We had one with the World Baseball Classic, by the way. I nailed who was going to win that one. Credit to me. My March Madness got killed, but at least I'm running the prize. Oh, yeah, March Madness, I'm toast. But at least World Baseball Classic, I predicted Japan right from the beginning. But yeah, we can do something like that. I will make a request, though. Nothing extremely humiliating.
Correct.
Respect the show in this case and respect the credibility of Streampunk Entertainment, all the stuff in there. That's the only thing I asked for. But if you want to make us have to, eat something ungodly, wear something semi-ungodly, I'm okay with something like that.
Fair. But we'll do it like this. Since there's just the three of us and everything. Work up your top 5 people who you think will die in the movie.
I've already got my. Well, there's 2, I think.
It's going to be, to me.
No, do a top 5, and then based upon who does die, if they were your number 1 pick, your number 2 pick, your number 3 pick, will dictate pointage.
See who gets closest to it. You're saying?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
No, how about this?
So, like, if your number 1 pick is someone that dies, that's like 5 points.
Okay.
If your number 4, that's 2 points.
Okay.
Sort of like that.
Okay.
Fair.
We can figure out the rules on that specifically, but yeah, I'm down for that, and I have no problem doing something like that going forward too.
Well, I mean, it's interesting for something like this because we already know that this is going to be a movie where it's going to be changed for the foreseeable future. Because if there is any kind of Guardians that happens in the MCU, it's going to be by a different director. It's probably going to be a different cast. It's going to be completely different from what we know.
Yeah, it's not.
That's rare for the MCU because unless it's something like Endgame where we know, like, Tony's going to die and, Cap's going to retire and stuff like that, you don't know what's going to happen. Or who's going to pass and who's going to come back.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, Peter Quill transforms into a new entity, to therefore be played by somebody else. Would you consider that a death or no?
Yes, because it would be the death of one character and the birth of a new one.
So you would count that as a death then? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Cool. Why do I feel like you already have insider info?
I don't. But my theory is, in this case here, it's possible something like that might happen.
Nah, okay. And my opinion is it's going to be someone that has been holding or who was pretty much the grounds work of the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think personally, I think it's going to be 2 people that's going to be dead.
I say 3, but I think we're going to work on this one in private. What do you say?
Yeah. Okay. Keep everything quiet until the episode prior to the movie's release.
Agreed.
So that's why it's all fair. And if any of us get to see any kind of advanced screening, we have to let the other people know.
Fair.
This way, any listings can be handed over beforehand.
Yes, and thank you, by the way, Ryan, for that video on Dungeons and Dragons. I appreciated that. We picked up, I think, 2 subs from that video, so I appreciate that.
Better than
Closing in
nothing.
on 27, closing in on like 2750, I think, for the sub count. I think we're going to hit that by maybe like the end of the week.
Well, let's try to get 3,000 before my birthday,
When's your birthday?
May 23rd.
Doable.
Okay.
It's doable. I got to keep doing shorts. Shorts.
Run
and
the
things like that.
campaign now. It's like 3,000 for Ryan's.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is actually a funny thing. The videos that we got from Rob Manning will probably assist with that because the interviews that he got and I haven't told you guys anything about this. I'll just tell you now. The amount of he got shout outs from I think 4 or 5 Power Rangers. The voice of Uncle Iroh shouting out Streampunk Entertainment, by the way. He has the interviews with all of 3 of the Blues Clues narrators there and a bunch of other stuff as well. Steve Burton, I think, was the voice of Cloud Strife in the Final Fantasy series, and a bunch of other stuff that's going to help get the YouTube channel up towards the 3,000 for your birthday.
How does that elf do it?
I know.
No,
he is a celebrity over there. The celebrities take pictures. Giancarlo Esposito took pictures with him and posted it on his own Facebook wall. Buddy the Elf is back.
Dude,
it was on Giancarlo Esposito. I pulled the picture down from Giancarlo Esposito's personal site.
yo, I gotta get a costume. Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe I will be a dwarf. I don't know. Let me see how much I can make myself look like Gimli.
Yeah,
Legolas 2 already.
he is doing his thing when it comes to. So is he going to be going to New York Comic Con?
I don't know yet, but that was the picture I pulled off Giancarlo Esposito's personal Facebook wall.
Wow,
That was from Giancarlo Esposito's Facebook.
Yeah, his own personal Facebook. Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, with the right angles and everything, he does look like a young Will Ferrell.
Yes,
yeah.
I have to give him that.
So
It just baffles my mind.
yeah, that's why I brought the kid in, because I knew what it was, So, but like I
The
said,
best I could pull off is maybe like Bob Newhart's elf.
But Kyle right now is, by the way, Kyle, thank you. Kyle right now is working on editing a lot of the stuff, a lot of the interviews to put it together and everything. So,
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, the stuff that he's getting right now, he didn't get the interview with Matthew Lillard. I'm okay with that, but he did get a bunch of other stuff because he's pressed for us too. So, but by the way, I got to talk to you guys about wrestling too in Jersey.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah, are we gonna do anything for WrestleMania this weekend? Because don't forget, folks, WrestleMania 2-night event this Saturday and Sunday
in Hollywood.
yeah, that's a little out of my jurisdiction on that one for April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I got like I said, I got the boxing event and also NYCFC.
And you know what? Just by you saying that, now I'm starting to think, what if Roman Reigns retains the title? And everybody thought Cody Rhodes is going to win it. April Fools.
Don't even play with me like that, man. Come on, no.
All right, guys.
No.
I figure we'll call it now.
No.
He's like, no. It was like Tracy Morgan in Cop Out. It's like, no.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no.
I really want Cody Rhodes to win. I want him to win.
Don't do it. No.
No. I can't. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a night.
Yeah, it's already like 9:45 at night. So
this is Scott.
Yes.
That's Ryan. And I'm Davion Bussey. And we'll say, see you next time on Tales from the Film Set.